उद्घाट्य योगकलया हृदयाब्जकोशं धन्यैश्चिरादपि यथा रुचि गृह्यमाणः यः प्रस्फुरत्यपि अविरतं परिपूर्णरूपः श्रेयस्समे दिशतु शाश्वतिकं कुन्दः अमरीकबरीभारभ्रमरी मुखरीकृतं दूरीकरोतु दुरितं गौरीचरणपङ्कजं परस्परतपःसम्पत्फलायितपरस्परं प्रपञ्चमातापितरौ प्राञ्चौ जायापति स्तुमः. Okay, we have to start with the third variety of Apahnuti. We saw the first two varieties. The first one is just Shuddha Apahnuti, wherein the character dharma ninnavaha bhavati tatra anyasya aroparthaha. So another object is being superimposed here. In order to do that, we are negating the present dharma in the varnaniyam. So varnaniya vastuni prakrita vastuni dharma ninnavaha bhavati dharmasya nishedhaha kimartham aprakrita vastu tatra aropyate tat karanat. The next one is you are giving a reason for this aropa, or you're giving the reason for the nishedha. So anyasya aroparthaha prakrita dharma ninnavaha api bhavati yadi sa ninnavaha yukti purvaha. If the nishedha is done and the yukti or the reasoning for nishedha is given and then the aropa happens, it is hetvapannuti. Now we move on to paryastha apannutihi. Paryastha apannutihi is where the dharma ninnavaha, so anyatra tasya aroparthaha paryastha apannutihi. So anyasya anyatra tasya aroparthaha. So anyatra is varnaniye vastuni here. So yatra saha kasyachid vastuni tadiya dharma ninnavaha bhavati. So you are now negating, you have an upamana and the upameya. Till now you were denying the upameyam. You're denying the dharma of the upameya and trying to do a superimposition of the upamanam. Na ayam sudamshuhu. Yataha sudamshuhu atra varnaniya vastu vartate tasya varnaniya vastunaha dharmaha atra nishidyate. So chandratvam, you are removing that and saying it is actually pankajam. But here you have two objects where you're looking at the face and you're looking at the moon. Now the moon becomes the upamanam. That's why I initially said usually moon is upamana. Don't get confused with this example. The upamana is the varnaniya in this case. Now when we come to paryastha apannoti, the example he gives here is na ayam sudhamshuhu. Now we look at the upamanam and say this is not what it is. So kvachid vastuni tasya dharmasya ninnavaha bhavati. Kvachid vastuni becomes the avarnaniyam. That is not our concern here. But it is the upamanam. Utkrishta dharmavan vartate. Kintu tasmin vastuni tadiya dharmasya ninnavaha bhavati nishedhaha bhavati. So we say na ayam sudamshuhu. So what are we doing? We want to bring that dharma onto the varnaniya vastu. Anyatra varnaniye tasya dharmasya aroparthaha. Now it is a switched over. Paryastam is actually vyadhikaranam, right? So aropa vyadhikarana paryasta. That is the aropa adhikaranam tatra paryastam bhavati tasmat atra paryasta apannutihi. Paryasta ityukte exchanged. It is reversed. So where the aropa is being done is now actually it is not reversed. Sorry. So sudhamshuhu preyasi mukham. It is dharma. Thus, we are removing the sudhamshutva and then we are saying that this is actually my preyasi mukham is the sudhamshu. Seriya? Okay, let's read through the
Pratipana reversed.
அதே மாதிரி ஆமா. பட் இங்க வந்து தர்ம நின்னவம் ஆக்கணும். There it is just a comparison between the two. இல்லையா? ஆமா. So paryastha, that okay, yeah. Paryastha aropa vyadhikarana apannutihi. Apannuti nishedha happens in the aropya adhikaranam. Where in the substratum where the aropa is being done, that is where you are negating the object. So Ayam purodrishyamanaha chandraha nat sudamshuhu. So whatever we see in front of us, which is supposed to be the upamanam, we are saying it is not the upamana, it is not sudhamshu. Chandraha na kintu preyasi mukham sudamshuhu. The face of the beloved is the moon here. This is not the moon. The original moon is not the moon. So atra chandre sudhamshutva nishedha anyatra varnaniye preyasi mukhe. Correct. Tasya sudhamshutvasya aropartha. We are taking that sudhamshutvam as not present in the original Chandra, but as being present in the Nayiki Mukha. Okay? Nayika Mukham. Clear? So, tasya sudhamshutvasya aropartha. Chandre chandratva nishedhasya साक्षात् मुखे तदारोपार्थत्वं यद्यपि नास्ति तथापि आरोप दार्ढ्य संपादकत्वस्य अनुभवसिद्धत्वात् तदर्थत्व उक्तिः. See, नायं सुधांशुः किं तर्हि सुधांशुः प्रेयसी मुखम्. It's not, there is no direct you are not actually looking at the preyasi mukham and saying this is the sudhamshu. You are not denying that preyasi mukhatvam in her. That is varnaniye tu varnaniyatvasya dharmasya ninnavaha na bhavati. Kintu kevalam anya dharmasya aropaha eva bhavati atra sudhamshutvam atra vartate tatra nasti ityeva. That's all is being said here. So chandre chandratva nishedhasya Sakshat, there is a direct nishedha for Chandra. He actually says yadyapi nasti mukhe tad aroparthatvam yadyapi nasti. Even though that is not what we are saying, I would discount this section because I don't think it makes any sense to me.
Because if we negate it in the Chandratvam, in the Chandra, we have to put it somewhere, and that is being put in the preyasi mukham.
That's all we are doing, yeah. So that is what it is actually being done. But he is not, yadyapi nasti iti vadati. I don't think that is what he is trying to say here. So we'll leave that out. We'll go to the aparam udaharana. This is a very chatu shlokam. Hala halo naiva visham visham brahma janaf param vyatyayamatra manvate nipiya jagarti sukhena tam shivaha sprishan nimam muhyati nidraya harihi. Hala halaha is the prasiddha visham. Okay, but you are saying that is not visham at all. Hala halo naiva visham. Hala hala is not at all poison. Poison is actually Rama. Rama is Lakshmi. So wealth, in other words, it's a representation of any kind of wealth. So Visham, poison, is actually Rama. So hala hale vishatvasya nishedham kritva, you are superimposing the vishatva on Rama, on Lakshmi. Janaf param vyatyayamatra manvate. But people think of this wrongly. So Vyatyayam is actually, they have a contradictory understanding about these two, both Hala Hala and Lakshmi. But look at the example here. Look at what we see. Nipiya jagarti sukhena tam shivaha. Tam nipiya, tam visham nipiya nisheshena pitva. He didn't leave out any little bit. Actually, there were a few drops which fell and they went into different visha jantu. It's explained in Bhagavatam, where as he was drinking the visham, some of those portions came into Vrishchika's, scorpion's tail, or I think some went into some other jantu, maybe the snake, I'm not sure. But the scorpion's tail got the visham as Parameshwara was drinking the hala hala visham. So nipiyatam visham nipiya nisheshena pitva jagarti sukhena jagarti. He is happily awake here, whereas we see Hari, Vishnu, sprishannatam. He just touched Lakshmi and he is now sleeping, it seems. Maya tatra yoga nidrayam vartate harihi iti. So nidraya muhyati. He is completely confused by nidra here. So Visham, the effects of Visha, effects of poison is seen in Lakshmi more than the poison itself. So Atra halahale vishatva nishedhaha ramayam tasya aroparthaha. So we're negating vishatva in halahala so that we can superimpose it on Rama, Lakshmi. उत्तरार्धे हेतुः अपि उक्तः इति पूर्व उदाहरणात् विशेषः. He doesn't classify this as a separate alankara, that hetu paryasthapannuti iti, but it's just different from the earlier example because we are giving a reason for this superimposition in the second half. तथा च पर्यस्तापन्नुतेः अपि हेतोः अनुक्त्या उक्त्या च द्वैविध्यं बोध्यं. Because of this we can understand that there can be two types of paryasthapannuti, saying shuddha paryasthapannuti and hetu paryasthapannuti. Okay.
Where is this slokam from?
Illiyadla ivare
No, I
ezhudhirukkaru.
mean it is there in the book, but I just wanted to know
illa
if it is
kizha
his own thing
vyakhyaanathla
or...
sometimes vyakhyaanathla they would have given where this is taken from. If it is not there, then we can say this is his own composition.
It's very cute.
Bhranta, இதெல்லாம் வந்து oft quoted shlokas. You know, people love this in Vedanta class. They would take these. The next one is Bhranta Apahnuti. Bhranta, the rendume next one, both of them are very similar ones, but you have to be careful about what the difference between the two. Bhranta Apahnuti anyasya shankayam bhranti varane. Someone has a doubt about a certain situation, so the person who answers that removes that doubt. That's all. So Bhranta Apahnuti, Brahmasya Apannavaha bhavati. Someone has an illusion. So you say this is Rajatam and you say the truth, iyam tu shuktihi iti. So it's just removing some kind of a Brahma that is there. It is based on certain similar qualities between the two things that they think about, the illusory object and the real object. So tapam karoti sotkampam jwarah kim na sakhi smaraha. Two people are talking. One is saying that tapam karoti sotkampam, along with utkampa, that is along with trembling, I have a kind of tapa, heat in the body. So the sakhi is asking jwarah kim, is it fever? So she answers, na sakhi smaraha. It is Manmatha who is causing this tapam inside me along with the kampa. She is feeling the pangs of love, of separation from her beloved. So she is going through that viraha tapa. So tapam karoti, both tapa and kampanam is caused by jvara and smara. She is confused and she is asking very innocently, probably jvara kim miti. Kintu sa tathyameva vadati. She says the truth by saying na sakhi smaraha manmathaha iti. Anyasya atra lakshana samanvayaha. So bhrantapannutehe anyasya shankayam, when you are doubting something else, bhranti varane. So anyasya prakrita itarasya atatvasya, something that is not the truth and something that is not the context. Shankayam satyam, when there is a doubt with regards to something that is non-contextual and something that is not the true nature. Brahme sati shankayam, shanka ityukte brahmaha. So when there is a doubt with regards to that, bhranti varane. So bhrantehe brahmasya varane tattvakyanena nivartane. By telling the truth, you are removing that bhranti or removing that misconception in the mind. Brahma vishaya nishedhat. There is a nishedha or removal of the illusion or misconception. So this is bhrantapannuti. Tattva kathana hetuka bhranti vishaya nishedha. Tattva kathanam bhranti nishedasya hetuhu bhavati. Okay, Bhranti Vishayasya Nishedhaha Bhavati, Nishedhascha Tattvakatane Hetukaha Vartate. That's how you split this big Samasta Padam here. So the Bhranti Vishaya Nishedha, negation of some misconception, is done with the reason of saying the truth. Clear? Iti Nishkarshaha. Madana Pidita Naika Vadati Smaram Manasi Krutva. A Naika who is suffering from love, Manmatha, she has in her mind that she is suffering from Manmatha and she is saying, Sotkampam Tapam Karoti. Kampasya Tapasya cha Jwara Sadharanyat, because it is equal to the results are the same, whether you have fever or whether it is Manmatha's effect. So Sakhi, Ruju Buddhihi Sakhi, this Sakhi is very innocent and straightforward. She just thinks, it's possible that she has fever and that's why she's saying, Iti Shankate. Kim Jwaraha iti. Naika na Jwaraha kintu smaraha iti Tattvakathana Purvakam. By saying the truth, Brahma Vishayam Jwaram Nishidhya. She removes that the idea of Jwaram that she has. Sakhyaha Brahmam Varayati. Tadevam Tapam Karoti Ityadi Slokardham Bhrantapannutehe Udaharanam Sadrishyat Brahme Bhrantimad alankaraha Tataha Tan Nishedhe Bhrantapanutihi. So first, Sadrishyat Brahmaha. First, the first step. It is like our Adenna and the Kriya Upapadam and Rupakam Panito, Adikapra Kriyartha Upapadi Rupakam Unvarme Parinama Alankara. Yeah. Very similar to Parinama. Here, you first do the Bhrantimad Alankara. There should be a Sadrishyam. Without Sadrishyam, you cannot go by that. Okay. Sadrishyam Sadrishyat Prathamam Brahmaha Bhavati. Tadanantaram tasya Brahmasya Nishedhaha Bhavati Cheta Bhrantapanutihi. Asyaha Aparamudaharanam Nagarika Samadhika Unnatihi Iha Mahishaha Koyam Ubhayataf Puchaha Nahi Nahi Karikalabhaha Ayam Shundadandaha Ayam Asya Natu Pucham. Nagarika, so Graminaha Kaschana Nagaram Agachati, and he looks at an elephant. A villager comes to the city and he looks at an elephant. He has never looked at an elephant in his time at all. Probably he doesn't live near a forest. He only lives in the suburb. So he has never spotted an elephant at all. And there are no elephants in his gramam. And this is the first time he is seeing an elephant. So he is asking the city dweller, Hey Nagarika, Samadhika Unnatihi Iha Mahishaha Samadhika Unnatihi. So there is a
very tall.
Samyak Adhika Unnatihi nu eduthukanum illaya. Okay. So it's very tall. Mahishaha, it is a buffalo which is very tall. Koyam Ubhayataha Puchaha, but there seems to be a tail on both sides. So the Nagarika removes that Brahmam and says, see, it is also dark in color. Hence, he thinks it is a big Mahisha. It is a small elephant. This elephant is as big as a buffalo here. So the Nagarika removes that Brahma by saying, Nahi Nahi, Karikalabhaha Ayam. This is a small elephant. Shundadandaha Ayamasya Natu Pucham. The second tail that you seem to be thinking is actually its trunk. Shundadandaha Natu Pucham. It is not its tail. So Atra Karikalabhe Mahishabhrantihi Nischaya Rupa. So the Brahmaha here is Nischayam, not Jwarah Kim iti Purvodaharane Sandeha Rupa Asit. In the earlier example, when she said Tapam Karoti Sotkampam, she asked, is it Jwara? She had a doubt there. The Sakhi had a doubt. Here the villager is very clear. Samadhika Unnatihi Iha Mahishaha. Koyam Ubhayataha, Koyam Mahishaha, Ubhayataha Puchaha. What is this variety of buffalo which has two tails on both sides? So he's very clear that it is Mahisha. He is only doubtful about the fact that it has two tails, one in the front and one in the back. So there is a Nischaya Rupa Bhranti. Apicha Graminasya Gaja Kalabhe Mahisha Bhranti Shundadande Pucha Bhranti cha Nagarikena Tattvakhyana Purvakam Varyate iti Bhrantapannuti. So there are two kinds of Bhranti here. One is Kalabhe Mahisha Bhranti, Karikalabhe Mahisha Bhranti. The other is Shundadande Pucha Bhranti. He has the misconception that this is a buffalo in a small elephant. And he also has the wrong thought, illusion that the trunk is actually a tail. So the Nagarika removes both by saying, Nahi Nahi, Karikalabhaha Ayam. And he also says the truth about the other tail, saying this is a Shundadandaha.
What a creation.
How did the Nagarika see the elephant? Did he go to a zoo?
Zoo allam kadayadu appo. ராஜ்யேது இது உண்டோ இல்லையோ ஆர்மி உண்டோ இல்லையோ அதுல வந்து ரத கஜ துரக பதாதிஹி.
And Gramina never saw it.
He has never seen. Probably Raja on the expedition polio on. This is, you have to think of that kind of a situation. Inge vandu why, when, what nu ketelna, then your kavyam rasanaye pedrathu. First you have to go by the assumptions that the poet gives us. Appoda you can enjoy the poetry.
I've never thought of tail on both the sides. It's so
I
funny.
know. Yeah.
In the previous one, there is that Brantimad alankara, Sadrishyadgam, Sadrishyat, Brahme, Brantim. That is that what we studied, that Sandeha, Branti, that three things we studied,
Yes.
right? Brantimad alankara. Okay.
Smriti,
if
Branti,
it is,
Sandeha.
Okay.
Yes, it's the same thing. Okay.
That plus Apahnuti.
And then Apahnuti. Yes. So here, if he had just said Graminoyam Karikalabham Drishtva Mahishaha iti, he thought something like that, and he wanted that Mahisha to come and plow his lands. Something, then it will stop with being Brantimad alankara. Only when you move on to someone who is telling him, no, you have an illusion about this animal. It is not Mahisha. It is actually an elephant. Yeah.
Apahnuti.
Apahnuti. The next one is Cheka.
But Mahoday, this previous example that we just read, there doesn't seem to be that much chamatkara because of the poet. It could have been just a genuine occurrence in the story. So, you know what I'm saying? The poet's ingenuity doesn't seem to be that. It seems to be a genuine occurrence.
That is it's a simple way of understanding what is the basic Brantapahnuti. That's all. Very basic thing where you don't see, even alankaras, there are levels of chamatkara in it. No? Sadharna, even in an upama alankara, you can have a simple upama alankara like Chandramukhi or Chandra Iva Mukham iti, but then you can also have a bigger upama alankara like Deepashikheva Kalidasa, no? That Deepashikheva. So there is a chamatkaram, there is no chamatkaram. That's also there. It's possible.
Yeah, here is just simply Vrittanta Seva Tatra Vaishishyam Natu.
It's just a teasing between teenagers.
Yeah, adula adu konjam irukku, but idula avlova illa. Okay.
Chekapannuti. Now here the situation is a little different, where Chekapannuti anyasya shankataha Tathyaninave. Someone has a doubt about the actual situation. She's asking if this is the reality. She's saying the real situation and asking. But then you are tatra satyaseva nishedhaha bhavati. And you are giving her another impression. So once we read the example, it will be more clear. Prajalpan matpade lagnaha kantah kim nahi nupuraha. There are two people talking. They are confidents here. Among young girls, you will have two people speaking secrets. There will be a third one who wants to join into that conversation. But this girl who is saying the secret would not want to reveal that to the third person. That's what is happening here. So as they are talking, she is saying, one is saying, Prajalpan Shabdam Kurvan Matpade Lagnaha. It was holding on to my leg. The beauty of Sanskritam here is, I can say he here, right? So, Matpade Lagnaha iti Pullinga Shabda Prayogaha tatra vartate. So, Prajalpan Matpade Lagnaha. The third one comes in and says, Kantah Kim. I know it must be your lover, so is it your lover? Iti. So, she wants to இது வந்து முந்திரி கொட்டை இல்லையா? You want her not to know the truth, so you say nahi nupuraha. I'm talking about my anklet here. I am not talking about kantaha. So this is cheka shankataha. She has a doubt which seems to be tathyam, and she is removing that nivarayati, tathya nivaranam karoti. So anyasya anuddishtasya shrotrajanasya shankataha. Someone else who seems to have overheard this conversation, anuddishtasya, one who is not the intended shrota. So the listener here is not, it is not for her ears. Instead of being rude and saying, oh, mind your own business, you know, she says it's something else. She probably would believe that and go off. Appo in the they both will say நம்ம அப்புறம் பேசிக்கலாம் அப்படிம்பா இல்லையா? We will talk about it later when she is not there. So that kind of a situation you have to imagine here. So anyasya anuddishtasya shrotrajanasya, someone who is not the intended listener, shankataha, they have a doubt, and because of that doubt, shanka hetoho tatvika vastu shankaya, because she has the doubt, and she actually seems to have caught on to the truth here. Tannivaranartham, in order to remove that, tathyasya yatharthasya abhipretarthasya ninnave nishede chekapannuti. Cheka is always trying to cheat someone. So you remember that as she is cheating the other person when the other person seems to know the truth. She's cheating them and saying, you know, I want to cleverly try to move her away from the truth here. So chekaha is vidagdha, is a cleverness, is a kind of, not exactly cheating. You can use cheka in the sense of vanchana also, but vanchana needs a kind of buddhi, right? Without a cleverness, you cannot do that. So chekaha is vidagdha, tatkrita apannutihi nishedha. So chekapannutihi iti lakshanirdesaha. Prajalpan, okay. Prajalpan matpade lagnaha ityadi udaharanam. Kachit naika swakantam manasi nidhaya. She has the lover in her mind, and she says probably he must have done some mistake and he has come and fallen at her feet, or he is just a clingy person. So manasi nidhaya apta sakhim vadati. She is talking to her a very close friend. Prajalpan yatkimapi mam anunetum, in order to console me, he was trying to say something. Pralapan prajalpan yatkimapi, something or the other he was talking. Matpade mama charaneva lagnaha pranataha. Lagnaha is more like he was attached to my feet, he was clinging to my feet, talking something or the other so that I will let go of my anger. Anapta kachit, another person who is not apta. Don't take the meaning of yathartha vakta here as apta. Apta is more one who is close to you or not. If you bring in tarka bhasha, then it won't fit here. So take it as someone who is not a close friend. So anapta kachit yadrichaya, accidentally, tadvakyam shrutva, she hears those words. Shankita tattvartha prichati. Now she gets a clue about it and she asks kantah kim. Tada vidagdhanayika tathya gopanaya, in order to cover up the truth, prativadati nahi kantaha kintu nupuraha, it is my anklets. So atra nupuraha eva shabdayamanaha pade lagnaha iti vakyasya anyatha yojanena, the same she has anyatha yojanena ityukte she connects it in a different manner and says, she gives a different meaning to it by connecting it to another object and says, and covers up the truth. So shankita tattvika vastunaha kantasya nishedhaha. The tattva vishayaha is shankitaha. It is being doubted here, and she denies that truth. Vaidagdhyena kritaha, and it is done in a very clever manner.
This is the opposite of the Branta Apahnuti. Branta Apahnuti, where you remove the doubt, and here you are making the doubt.
Asyaha eva aparam udaharanam. And the example is Sitkaram Chikshayati Vranayati Adharam Tanoti Romancham Nagarikaha Kim Militaha Nahi Nahi Sakhi Haimanaf Pavanaha. So Sitkaram Chikshayati is someone who is Sitkaraha is sighing, kind of you are adena oru sound pannuvala அப்படிங்கிறோம் இல்லையா, that sound is called Sitkaraha. Usually you also say this for a snake, Sitkaram karoti iti. So it's like the sound of a snake as you, in the sense of sighing. Shikshayati, it is teaching me how to do that. Vranayati adharam, my lips are also, lips have been wounded. Romancham tanoti, it also gives me horripilation, goosebumps. So someone is asking, Nagarikaha kim militaha, did you meet a city dweller who has caused all of this for you? So she says, Nahi nahi sakhi haimanaf pavanaha. So because of Rati, a Nagarika, you meet someone who is traveling, and the traveler who is well versed in the love sports, it is possible that he might have kissed her and given her romancham, and he has left. So she is also feeling the whole viraham, so sitkaram karoti. All these seem to be showing that she is in virahatapa also, after having met a person here and had a good time with him, right? Now, nahi nahi sakhi haimanaf pavanaha. This is haimanaha is hemanta parva, hemanta kale shishirat purvam ya rituhu vartate. So that ritu kala is hemanta. So the wind during hemanta ritu seems to cause all of these also, because you're feeling so cold, you're doing like that again and again, and then it also wounds your lips because it makes it dry, and it can, because of the cold, it can quickly make your hair stand on its ends, and it can give you goosebumps also. So she wants to cover up her deed, so she says that it is caused by the wind. Okay. Atra sitkaram shikshayati ityadi vakyartham nagarika abhiprayena priyasakhim prati kayachid uktam akarnya anyaya tattvarthaha shankitaha. So the same story as the earlier only. So the Nagarika Abhiprayena, she has had an affair with someone, and she is trying to only talk about it to her Priya Sakhi, her very close friend. The third party comes and listens, and she tries to guess the whole thing, and she says she actually guesses the truth. So tam prati tat shanka nivrittaye vakyasya haimantika pavana paratva varnanena tatvikasya nagarikasya apannavaha kritaha. So the truth is actually nagarika vrittantaha eva tatra satya vrittantaha, kintu tad gopanaya, she tries to cover that up and removes the doubt from the third person by saying that no, this has been caused by the wind that comes during hemanta ritu. Clear?
The word cheka is so interesting. I mean, here he says cheka means clever person, but if you look at the dhatu cho, chedane, so somebody who is very cutting, who's got a very sharp mind, And also he says Vidagdaha. So Vidagdaha is somebody who's really been kind of burnt by knowledge, like the impure gold is burnt and you get gold, right? Vidagdaha. Right? So his words are so nice.
இந்த மாதிரி பேசணும்னா you need that kind of a புத்தி.
ரொம்ப sharp mind. டக்குன்னு
yeah.
And also this is not removing the Bhranti, it is putting the Bhranti.
Yes. Adnalda, it is more a clever turn of phrases. The last one is very simple. Kaitavapannutihi, but it's the most seen in Sahityam. Kaitavapannutihi vyaktau vyajadhyaihi ninnutehe padaihi. When very clearly you are denying but not saying na ityadi, but using some padam like vyaja, etc. Not any aroparthaha ityadikam tu nasti atra. Niryanti smaranarajaha kantadrik pata kaitavat. So you're using the words like vyaja, kaitava. அதுக்கப்புறம் வேற ஏதோ இருக்குமே, ஏதோ ஒன்று வரும், இந்த மாதிரி நிறைய வேர்ட்ஸ் இருக்கும். வியாஜ சல சல சல. எஸ். So niryanti smara narachaha. Narachaha banaha. Smara manmatha's arrows are coming out in the form of, or in the disguise of, the eyes of the beloved. So kanta drikpata is more like sight. The sharp sight of the lover is so sharp that it is like the manmatha's arrows, that it directly comes and hits the heart and makes you fall for her. So krit kanta drikpata kaitavat, in the guise of in the disguise of kanta drikpatam, the sight of the lover. Smaranarachaha niryanti, it is actually manmatha's arrows that are coming out. So kaitava is the padam that is used here. Vyajadhyaihi, vyaja chala kaitava prabhritibihi padaihi ninnutehe nishedhasya vyaktau. It is very clear that there is a nishedha here. Sputikarane kaitavapannutihi. Atra kanthatah dharma nishedha naya na kriyate. The only difference is between Shuddhapannuti and this is not appadina nama vandu, we are not directly saying that okay, this is not Chandra, nayam sudamshuhu, and you're not completely denying what it is. You are actually accepting kantadrik also, but you are saying that in the form of this smaranarajaha eva agachanti iti. Okay, so kanthatah dharma nishedaha naya na iti padena nanyam padena na kriyate. You are not doing a dharma nishedha here. Kanthatah itukte directly using nanya. Kintu asatyatva abhidayibihi kaitavadi padaihi nishedha pratiyate. Mithya. You're using words, the nishedha, the negation is seen through words like kaitava, etc., which are capable of telling you that it is not the correct one, it is not the truth, right? Smaranarachatvam tu tatra nasti kanta drikpate, parantu you are saying that drikpata kaitavat, in the disguise of that it is actually coming. So it's only the asatyatva, the padam is kaitavam tells you that it is not the truth, it is actually drishtipataha eva, drishti prasaraha eva. We are trying sadrishyatu or something, the effect, not sadrishyam, it is more like the cause and effect here. Kantayaha drikpata kaitavat drishti prasara vyajena smaranarachaha manmatha bana visheshaha niryanti nirgachanti, they are coming out iti udaharanam. Atra kaitava padena na ime kanta katakshaha किंतु स्मरनाराचाः इति अपन्नवः प्रतीयते. Vyaktau is could be that this kind of apannuti is suggested by this. It can't be directly said. So the apannuti, if they had said neme kanta katakshaha kintu smaranarachaha, then it is the first variety. Shuddhapannuti. Here they have used the word Kaitava to indicate that there is an Apannava going on underneath. Yeah.
This Kaitava, Chala and all will not come in Utpreksha, but Vyaja will come in Utpreksha, right?
Huh?
Vyaja can come in the Utpreksha, right?
No, why? In the example, tell me an example, then.
I thought we saw in the Raghuamsham one shloka.
Yeah. Vyajatan vandirundhaduna anga vandu idudane sollirpen. I would have said Apahnuti.
Illana mixture irukum. You might have Utpreksha plus.
That is possible.
Oh, that one where the old age in the disguise comes in his ears and says.
அங்க என்ன இருக்கு? சங்கயா இவ ஆஹ.
Palita Chadmana.
Palita Chadmana is there. Chadma is only that portion is Kaitava Apahnuti. Shankaya Iva is Hetu Utpreksha. Iva is there. Iva is the Utpreksha Vachaka Shabda, not Chadma. Okay. Asyaha Anyat Udaharanam Rikteshu Varikathaya Vipinodareshu Madhyanna Jrimbhita Mahatapa Tapa Taptaha Skandhantarothita Davagni Shikhachalena Jihvam Prasarya Taravaha Jalam Arthayante. Taravaha Jalam Arthayante. The trees seem to be asking for the tree seems to be asking for water here. Jalam Arthayante. Jihvam Prasarya. They are putting out their tongues and they are asking for water. It seems as if they are asking for water. So, Rikteshu Vari Kathaya, when there is no water everywhere, anywhere, Vipinodareshu, in the inner places of the Vipina forest, deep inside the forests where there is no story of water at all. Vari Kathaya, Rikteshu, Vipina Udareshu Satsu. When the inner forests are completely empty, completely devoid of any even a story of water. அதாவது தண்ணிங்கிற கதையே காணும்னு சொல்லல, அந்த மாதிரி நம்ம தமிழ்ல சொல்ற மாதிரி சொல்றாருங்க. அதுதான் ஒரு இதுவே காணும் அப்படின்னு. So and totally there is no talk of water at all in the forest. Madhyanna Jimbita Mahatapa Tapa Taptaha Taravaha. The trees are taptaha, they are completely burnt or they are heated up because of the heat that comes from during the afternoon sun. So Madhyanna Jrimbhita Maha Atapasya Tapena Taptaha. Madhyanne Jrimbhitam. The sun's heat seems to have increased in the afternoon, and because of the heat that comes from the Atapa, from the Surya, that because of that heat, these trees are all taptaha, they seem to be burning. Skandhantara Uthita Davagni Shikha Chalena. There are fire that is coming out in between the shakha, that is in between the branches of the trees. Skandhantara, in the in-between portions of the branches, it starts drying up and quickly it catches fire, right? So Skandhantara Uthita Davagni, the forest fire, Shikha, the top portions of the flames of the forest fire which seem to come out of the trees from between the branches, that chalena, in the guise of that forest fire seems to be like the tongues that the trees are putting out to search for water. Okay, the forest fire is the truth. You are doing an nishedha of that forest fire and saying that it is actually Jihva which is trying to come out in search of water. இந்த நாக்க தொங்க போட்டு தேடுறோம் தண்ணிக்குன்னு சொல்றோம்ல, அந்த மாதிரி. புரியுறதா அந்த ஸ்லோகம்? Clear?
Yeah, it's really nice. I mean, the previous one of the shlokas that we saw previously, which is from the Naishada, where he does the circling of the sun and the moon. அங்க கூட அப்பனுத்தி இருக்கு இல்லையா? அது சத்மனா அப்படின்னு அங்க சொல்றாங்க, like, right?
சத்மனா இருந்தா இருக்கு. Yes.
Shabila, I can't remember whether it's exact words, but I know that he says under the guise of that in FDO Silvara.
ததோஜசஸ்தத்யசஸ்திதா விமௌ அப்புறம் தெரியாது. ததோஜசஸ்தத்யசஸ்திதா விமௌ.
Where did we do Naishadam?
No, this was in Kuvalayananda itself. We came across that shloka. It starts with tadojasastadhyasasasthita vimau. அப்படின்னு வரும். குண்டலனாம்
கரோதி அப்படின்னா.
ஆமா. I'm trying to see where that shloka is in this. கேச்சித்வயம் இண்டெக்ஸ் பண்டிதாக.
இருக்குன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் இந்த புஸ்தகத்துல இண்டெக்ஸ் நான் பார்த்துட்டு.
तदोज 9 प्रतीपम प्रतीपालंकारः पेज नंबर 65 போட்டிருக்கு. கைத்தவாத். Yes, परिवेश கைத்தவாத்.
So definitely there is
vidhihi. Yes, there is kaitava apahnuti there.
And so it is the pratipam is separate from, I guess it is samsrishti.
Ama. I think we saw it parivesha apannutya that becomes, and then you have utpreksha also. In that there are many things there.
Many things there. Okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Like I said, we got a bunch of alankaras.
அதை அனலைஸ் பண்றதுக்குள்ள அப்படியே பிச்சன் போயிடுவேன்.
நைஷதம் பண்டிதஸ்ய ஔஷதம் எப்படி சொல்லுவாங்க?
வித்வத் ஔஷதம். See, the problem is also those people who have noted down that these are the alankaras never give an explanation of why those alankaras are. Lakshana samanvayastu tatra kartavyah. It is just left to the people who read and explain to find out why it is like that. No? If you are writing a vyakyanam, don't just say spashtam atra upama alankara.
They are just giving homework for the people who are writing exam.
See, upama alankara, I understand. It's a simple case of upamanam, upameyam, and sadharana dharma, etc. But if you are giving apahnuti or pratipa, something like that, sankara and all, I have to say what it is, no? I get so bugged with all this.
For samasa, they do opposite. They give vigraha vakya, but they don't name the samasa. But here, they name the alankara, but they don't explain.
They don't explain at all. Atra davagni shikha vyajena grishma taptaha taravaha jalam prarthayante. So the trees which are burning because of summer, in the guise of the flames of the forest fire, jalam prarthayante, they are asking for water. Iti anena na imaha davagni shikhaha kintu tarunam jihvaha iti tatra sakshat naya nishedhaha na kriyate. So chalapadat pratiyate. This apahnuti we understand through the word chala in this shloka. Okay. என்ன எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்திருக்கேன்? என்ன யாச்சிதஹ
கைத்தவா அப்பஹ்னுதி.
இதெல்லாம் கைத்தவா அப்பஹ்னுதி தான். மிஷா, you can use misha also. மிஷாத் வர்ச்சையும் யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே, சரியா? நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் உத்பிரேக்ஷா. there are 3-4 types, no 6 types I think. இல்லையா? வஸ்து உத்பிரேக்ஷா, ஹேது உத்பிரேக்ஷா, பல உத்பிரேக்ஷா, and each one is ukta pada, anukta pada. So we'll do that next class. சரி,
धन्यवाद महोदय.